Hi. Are you the type of person that got really excited the first time you ever read Alice in Wonderland? Because it's almost like you found somebody who just kind of got the way things were, the way language functions, just the importance of all this nonsense about how all these people are running around taking things so seriously when it doesn't matter. And there's these people who seem to have figured out that all those things that all those serious people think don't matter are actually the things that are saving lives, or that maybe that was just me. When you start a Patreon account, you start getting bombarded immediately by a lot of advice and tutorials, specifically about this video, about the percentage of people who watch into the first minute, the percentage of people who keep watching into the second minute, and how it's got to be gripping, get everything out up front. And that's smart. It's smart the way they do it. They see the metrics, they're running a business, they want to make money and they want to help people make money because that's how business works. But this is all only helpful if you want to make money. And I am not here for that. Then it kind of comes to the obvious question, then why am I here on a website dedicated to profit? Through stages of my life, I've struggled with mild depression. Fortunately, never any of like the serious symptoms, like any of the dangerous ones, but still, when you start looking over the things like loss of energy, loss of interest, activities that you used to find enjoyable have sort of lost meaning and you stop just enjoying life. That's a thing that I've found just popping in and out times when I like do my work, go to school, and I come back and I just sit down on a computer, find some blog game, and just don't do anything that makes me happy. But the thing is, I really enjoy some really weird creative things out there. I like throwing myself into bizarre projects and just making the world a more delightful, entertaining place. And I'd really like to keep doing that. So I've come up with a weird method. I, like I said, go to work and when I was in school, went to school. And I always did. Unless I was actively sick, it didn't matter whether I was in a bad mood, whether I hadn't done homework, whether I was unprepared. I showed up because my mother instilled in me a just crazy work ethic. And I've got this crazy theory that if I got paid, if it was my responsibility to someone to go out and do these weird creative projects in my head, then I would do them because somebody is paying me for it. Somebody has gone and said, this is your job, it needs to be done. And this seems to be like the best setup for actually doing it. As long as I have one person giving me $1, side note, when I was creating tiers, I tried to make a tier for 1 cent, but they didn't have one. Wasn't allowed. It makes sense why not, but just fun random fact. But as long as someone is giving me $1, then I think I will be obligated to make something for them. I have no intentions on having a goals tier track to try to achieve anything because this is just my weird world. This is just my crazy projects and thoughts and patterns and all this bizarre nonsense going through my head, which I'm just going to start feeding onto the internet. Speaking of, you probably want to know what sort of things I create. I have a vlog in which I am developing. That's a polite word for not very good, but I'm trying to get better. Where I just sort of feed all the interesting, weird stuff. Um, there's a project I'm wanting to work on called the League of Annoyed Animals, in which I create this other account called the League of Annoyed Animals and start following all of these nature YouTube channels, going to different websites. That was my phone going off in the middle of a video. I'll need to learn to get better about that. And just start giving these very disapproving, annoyed comments onto the video. Here, actually wrote one up. I want to read it off for you. Dear Mrs. National Geographic, I have just watched your recent expose on me, and I don't appreciate it in the slightest. You only used a fraction of the footage we shot that day, and what you did use made me look like an absolute Neanderthal. You used my morning grooming routine, but left out the book club meeting that afternoon, which I've been leading for 10 years, thank you very much, or the interview that evening where we discussed the political state of Europe in the wake of Brexit. If I don't receive a public apology and the release of the withheld footage, you will never get another interview with me again. Sincerely, an uncomfortably muscular kangaroo. That delights me. I love putting stuff like that out there. Other things that I would probably be putting out is a lot of scientific and theological discussion. I am a Christian and a student of science. And I notice that there are a lot of really loud, angry people talking about both. And I kind of want to try to temper those waters a bit, which I have sincere belief that I will not pull off whatsoever because it's the internet and there are crazy people on the internet, and I love that. But no, I am full on wanting to be like, hey, what's the whole deal with evolution? What's the deal with creationism? Homosexuality? Abortion? And I have no idea how that's going to go. And I have no idea how to even tackle those things tonally. But I want to. And I know I'm crazy. And I know none of this is going to make any sense. And I know that I am just one of millions of voices just throwing out into the wind. But if you think that maybe I might come up with some random, weird, delightful thing, maybe consider throwing $1 my way. I won't guarantee you that it's going to be anything good. I can't. I don't trust my skills. But if you want to try something, maybe go ahead. I'm also going to throw out some tiers in which you guys can pay for more of my stuff, because even though I don't plan on this being a career, even though I have a wife, I want to start a family, and I plan to hold down a stable career, I don't know what the future holds. So, heck, I'm going to throw a tier covering my rent on here, my internet costs, my whatever. Because a wise man once said, if someone wants to be nice to you, let them. And part of that is opening up the ability for people to do so. Maybe I should start writing scripts. That sentence just sounded weird coming out. Well, I think it's coming up near to 10 minutes, and the website suggested 2, so I think I've adequately achieved my goal of entirely and blatantly ignoring their goals and priorities for making money. But if you're at all interested, maybe look at some of the stuff I put out on my vlog. I'll try putting more stuff out there. So, bye.